come into a seated position, but scoot your butt way forward to the end of your seat and then step your feet so that they're fairly wide to the outer edges of your chair, hands behind the head. And we're gonna start to find a little twist. So you're gonna take your elbow towards your knee and lift it back to center and then over to the other side. Finding strength through the side of your body, leaning forward just as much as you can control, and then coming up nice and strong. Nice. And then here, as you start to rotate, check in and notice, does your knee drop in and try to come with you? Can you keep your knees pressing outward towards the pinky toes? Inner thighs are nice and engaged. Awesome. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. Cool. And then as you come back up, step your feet in, give everything a good little shake out, and then grab your theraband or your booty band. And if you're working with your theraband, just give it a quick look over, make sure there's no little tears or anything funky going on there. Okay, so we're going to take the theraband and we're going to kind of pass it underneath the thighs, and then we're going to crisscross it, and we're going to work on our grip strength as well as our leg strength. So you're going to get it nice and tight around the thick part of your thighs, give a little crisscross, and then pull it apart. And then first things first, you're going to step your feet so that they're about hip width distance apart, knees in line with the hip points, and then your ankles in line with your knees. Once you've got that nice even distance, you're going to keep one side stationary. As you step a foot out, pull it back in, step the other foot out, pull it back in. And so you're going to alternate sides. And what we want to try and do is control that movement so that we're driving out from the outsides of the thighs. So if you're stepping out, your knee is not the first thing to move. Think about pulling your thigh out and then controlling that step as you come back in. And then just see if you can just start to find it, an inner thigh connection, an outer thigh connection, and you're working your grip here the whole time as you pull the theraband apart. Nice. So all this stuff that we're about to do, these next couple of minutes of work, this is stuff that I would do if I was sitting at my desk editing our videos so that I can keep my knees pretty happy. And I usually use my little green booty band when I do this. So I'll just kind of slip it around my thighs and then I don't have to work my grip strength, but theraband works just as well. Okay, let that go for a second. Give everything a little shake, wiggle out your fingers, shake out your wrists, make sure everything is feeling good. Okay, and then we're gonna come back to that maneuver. So you're gonna take that theraband again, wrap it around. And if you get tired of holding it, you also have the option of tying it. So you can just tie a little knot and then not have to worry about the handhold or the grip. But once you've got that pull apart again, we're gonna step our feet out to that nice even distance, pick up your left leg, and you're gonna keep that left thigh lifted, and you're gonna push your heel forward, bend your knee and pull it back in. So we're keeping the thigh lifted. And then what we wanna focus on is trying to find that muscle that runs right to the inside of your knee. So if you like, hold on to your theraband with one hand, take your hand to the inside of your knee, find that little muscle and keep that little muscle engaged the whole time. You're lifting your knee up and lowering it down. And you're gonna just start to take that at your pace, but we wanna keep the thigh lifted, that inner muscle engaged, and the standing leg is nice and active. So we're keeping that leg active as well so that nothing's wobbling all over the place. And then that nice little muscle that you're finding working on the inside, once you find that and you're able to pay attention to that muscle, start using your awareness of that muscle when you're walking upstairs and see if you can start keeping that muscle engaged when you're taking your stairs. Beautiful, you guys. And make sure that thigh is lifted up away from your chair just a little bit. Your butt's way scooched forward in your seat. So you're really keeping that leg active the whole time. And think about pushing through your heel. We got 12 seconds left here. And time, nicely done. Set that down and we're taking it right to the other side. So you're gonna pick that thigh up, keep that little pull apart on the theraband, leg stays lifted, and we're just pushing the heel forward and pulling it back in. So the leg is nice and controlled. And again, if you like to just have that awareness, hold on to your crisscross of your TheraBand, take your hand to the inside side of that knee, find that muscle, feel that muscle active and engaged, and then try to keep that muscle active and engaged. And if you notice that you're not finding it, you might have to rearrange your knee slightly. So your proportions, your body alignment might require you to turn the knee out slightly to find it. It might require it to turn in slightly. So see if you can find that inside muscle that runs right along the inside of the knee, and then keep it active as you lift and lower that heel. Thighs lifted away from the chair. Nice. We got 12 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Keep your TheraBand just as it is. Keep your knees slightly apart. And now we're back to our starting leg, our left leg, and we're going to lift the leg up. Thigh is going to stay lifted, and we're going to rotate externally and then turn the toe back up towards the ceiling. So that's all you got to do. Turn the toe out and then turn it right back up to the ceiling. But keep a nice tight position on that TheraBand. So you have to work to keep that leg lifted and then rotate the toe out, toe back up towards the ceiling. And then if you need that little extra bit of work, then you'll internally rotate the toe and externally rotate the toe and see the difference of how that feels to keep the leg lifted and keep that rotation going. Nice, you're already halfway there on this leg. And then just check your posture. Make sure you haven't gotten real slumpy in your chair, still sitting nice and tall upright. Leg is lifted, working really hard. Rotating externally, and then maybe rotating internally if you like that bit of work. And time. Woo! Nice work. Set that leg down, but we're going to take it right over to the other leg. So pull that TheraBand apart, lift your leg up, keep the thigh lifted, and away we go. Rotating the toe out and then bringing it back up towards the ceiling. So hopefully you're finding a little work in the quadricep muscles here, and then a little work in that inner thigh muscle. See if you can feel it. Make sure it's working. Nice, you guys. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. And time. Woo! Lower that leg down. Get your TheraBand off for a second. Give your legs a good shake. And now if you tied your TheraBand up, go ahead and untie it, because now we're going to do a little pump the brakes. So we're going to take our TheraBand, or if you're working with your booty band, you're just going to slip your foot into the loop, and then you're going to have a little bit of a handhold so that you can start extending your foot out. And then you're going to walk yourself forward to grab a nice firm hold of that TheraBand, and we're going to pump the brakes. So we're going to pull the knee up to the chest, hold on to the TheraBand, push the leg out. Now here our goal is to work through the top of the thigh. So think about pushing your heel forward, but pushing it forward through the top of your thigh. And then we want to check our knee. So look at your knee in line with your toes. As you pull the knee towards the chest, it's going to stay just nice and stable, lined up with your second and third toe. And then as you push it out, it's going to stay in that same position. So the knee is not going to try to sickle out. It's not going to try and drop in. We're going to keep that knee nice and in line with the toes. Beautiful. So the knee pulls up to the chest. Nice, Marb. Nice work. Yes, you guys. Amazing. You guys are amazing. We got 17 seconds left here. And if you were working with your booty band, if you were working with your little green or blue loop, then you would just hold on to the loop single-handed, and you would just keep an even distance and try to still sit up nice and tall. Okay, hang on to that leg. If you need to, shake out your wrists, but we're gonna now work through the foot and the ankle. So we're gonna keep the leg slightly lifted. So we're keeping the thigh engaged, and we're just gonna point the foot and flex the foot and try to keep a little bit of a resistance on your TheraBand. So when we're talking about keeping our knees safe, we want to work through all of the muscles that help support that. So we're going to keep our calves and our shins nice and strong. We're going to keep our ankles and our feet nice and strong. Quadricep muscles, hamstring muscles, all the muscles that help support the knee, basically. So we will still want to focus on those little areas, those smaller muscles that help support that system as well. Check your posture, just make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. 20 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Bend that knee, release your foot, give yourself a second, shake out your fingers, shake out your wrists, make sure everything feels good. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So we're back to pumping the brakes, but we're picking up the other foot. So you're going to make that little loop around the bottom of the foot and then walk yourself forward so you can take a nice firm handhold of that theraband. And then away we go. Pull the knee up towards the chest, push the heel forward. Try to keep that knee in line with the second and third toe. So there's no turning in, there's no turning out. It's just a nice straightforward maneuver with that knee. Pull it up to the chest, push the heel forward, but thinking about pushing the heel forward from the top of your thigh. Beautiful, nice work. Check your posture, just make sure you're not getting slouchy. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, back is away from the chair. Nice work, you guys. 20 seconds left, you got this. And time. Awesome work. Okay, we're going to hold on to that foot and take it into our point and flex. So we're going to keep the leg lifted, hold on tight, point the foot, and flex the foot. So now we want to see if we can find a little work happening. Whoop, find a little work happening through the top of the shins and the calf muscles and the muscles around the ankle, and maybe even into the foot. So just as much handhold as you hold on to is how much work you're going to find. So you might loosen up so you can pay attention maybe to the calf and the shin, or you might tighten up your grip and then work a little bit further through the foot. And time. Nicely done. Okay, bend your knee, set your foot out, give everything a little shake. Shake out your wrist. We're going to come up to a standing position and we're going to face the low side of the chair. So rearrange your chair if you need to, or just keep it where it is so that you can work around it. Now we're going to put a single hand hold onto the chair and we're going to pick the top leg up. So there's an external rotation in the hip if you can find it. Hip is rotated slightly towards the ceiling. And then we're going to work on the standing leg. So we're going to bend the knee, straighten the knee, lift your heel up away from the floor, lower your heel, bend your knee, straighten your knee, lift your heel up, lower your heel down. And then just make sure this feels like a safe and comfortable position for your wrists, for your handhold. So if you need to make any adjustments so that your handhold feels safe, reposition yourself. But if you can keep it going, that leg stays lifted. We bend our standing leg, straighten the standing leg, lift your heel up, lower your heel down. Nice, slow, controlled movements, making sure we're finding that inner thigh connection. So if you can find that muscle that's running along the inside of the knee as you bend and straighten with control. Nice, you guys. And time. Awesome job. Lower that top leg, stand up, shake it all out, shake out your wrist if you need to. Now we're going to take it to the other side. I'm going to spin my chair around, but you can just flip yourself around, hand onto the chair, top leg is lifted, a little external rotation of that hip. So the hip is reaching up towards the ceiling. Bend your standing leg, straighten it, lift your heel, lower your heel. You got it. Nice. And then just check your wrist position again. Make sure that your handhold feels okay. And notice one side might feel totally different than the other. You might feel that you have a little bit stronger standing leg on one side than the other, a little stronger in the ankles. So just take the time here to notice. And time. Woo! Beautiful work. Set that leg down. Give everything a good shake. Grab your TheraBand. Now from here.